Connie Moore claims to have taken a photograph of a UFO. If you're of a more rational mind, operator, most likely she did not. Your objective is to find a shortcoming or problem with said photograph.
Jackpot. Connie said she took that photo the day she disappeared. Clearly, she didn't. Maybe the aliens did funny things to her brain. Maybe her brain was funny to begin with. Do me a favor. Locate the position on the map where she supposedly snapped this photograph.
Just let here. Just like here.
All right. Now check this spot out. Guess I gotta do a little hiking. Probably sweat my goddamn balls.
Operator Tanner, are you there? Agent Walker told me that your connection was suddenly cut. And when I tried to contact you, you were offline. What happened? Hal? I thought we had taken care of that problem. I will look into this matter immediately with our cybersecurity department. The second shift of operators has arrived. You can go home now, Tanner. See you tomorrow. And don't be late.
Hey, pal. So, tell me, how'd day number 1 at the FDI go? Everything you had hoped for? All right. That's what I like to hear. Sorry, buddy. My phone's ringing off the hook here. I gotta run. But hey, great job. And, just keep plugging away, okay? I'm proud of you, Evan.
Operator Tanner, Agent Pendle has an update on yesterday's case. I'll patch her through in a moment. But before I do, I wanted to let you know that from this point on, you'll talk to the agents directly. Time to cut the umbilical cord. However, as your supervisor, I'll still be in the background monitoring your activity. Oh, I almost forgot. Our cybersecurity department is looking into this unfortunate matter with Hal. You can be assured that it won't happen again.
Good morning, Operator Tanner. So you remember Ray Wells, right? So I checked out the address you gave me, but no sign of Wells. Then I get a call from Vice, and guess what? Wells was found dead in a downtown parking garage early this morning. Shot. Point blank range. Now I'm working 2 homicides, and it's my first week. Welcome to the FDI, Alexandra. Anyway, the garage has cameras, and I got some footage of Wells. That's the good news. The bad news? I don't have all the footage. Sort of weird, but part of it is missing. Well, the most important part. The part where Wells is shot. Anyway, think you could take a look? I'm looking for anything that's different between the first and second half of the surveillance footage. Apart from Wells ending up dead and the blood splatter on the pillar. Sorry for the vivid details. Look at that. Give me a sec, operator. I'm gonna check this out. Well. I just found a bullet lodged in the light's framework. I'm sending you a photo. Can you run an analysis and tell me what kind of bullet I'm looking at? .45 caliber? I believe that's what the military and police use. Well, that's something anyway. Thanks for your help, operator. Appreciate it. If only we had all of the footage. Anyway, I should get back to the scene. Keep digging and see if you can find anything else about our perp. understand. How did you get that, Tanner? Well, this is huge. Thanks, Tanner. I don't want to be greedy, but can you give me a better image of the shooter's face? Yes, that's it. And sorry to ask, but would it be possible to get an ID?
I see that you ran the facial recognition software, and 0 matches turned up, operator. That's unusual. In fact, it shouldn't even be possible. Our FDI databases are exhaustive. I'll flag this issue for later, but go ahead and share the image with Agent Pendle.
I see. I'll canvass the area immediately. Maybe someone has seen our Prince Charming. I'll talk to you later. And thanks again.
Hello, Operator Tanner. Hal told me that you'd be calling. Okay, I'll try to keep this short. About a month ago, I started working on a missing persons case. A woman reported that her husband had been gone for over 48 hours. Almost right away, the case felt different. Red tape all over the place. An unusual lack of cooperation from my superiors and colleagues. Unanswered calls. Suddenly, the FDI felt like the most incompetent department in the country. After an almost endless game of phone tag, I finally managed to get an appointment with a superior. The plan was to sit down and talk about the case first thing Monday morning. That Sunday night, I'm awoken by a phone call. The woman's apartment has burned to the ground. And the woman, what's left of her anyway, has been found dead in the ashes. So I started looking into the fire, of course. I couldn't help myself. Plus, I felt like I owed it to Mia. That was the woman's name. Mia Cole. Anyway, it wasn't long before my superiors found out and pressured me to stop. They told me the fire had been ruled accidental, the result of faulty wiring in her oven. They told me I was wasting my time and precious FDI resources by looking into it, and said if I continued, I'd end up pushing papers in a basement somewhere. But that fire, Operator Tanner, that fire was no accident. I can feel it. Mia was murdered. I just have to prove it. That's where I'm hoping you can help me. Go ahead and search them in the Human DB. The husband's name is Sasha. Sasha and Mia Cole. Please. Just another coincidence, right? Look, I don't know why, but someone doesn't want us looking into Sasha and Mia Cole. But we have to, Operator Tanner. It's our job. Who's going to do it if we don't? Can you help me find proof Mia's fire wasn't an accident? You'll take a look then? Oh, thank you. As far as how to access the case files, that's not really my area of expertise. But you can ask Hal. Sorry, I don't understand what that means, Tanner. Despite being, well, a thorn in the side, you have to admit Hal gets results. I knew it. Faulty wiring my... You know what. This was no accident. Someone started this fire and killed Mia. But why? Maybe I'll end up at a desk in a dark basement somewhere, but I'm going to keep digging into this. It matters to me. I grew to know her. Mia, I mean. With our line of work, you try not to get emotionally involved. That's what they teach you at the academy, anyway. Almost from the start. And usually, I can turn the switch off. I learned to do that. Feel nothing. But with Mia, I just never could. She wanted to be a singer, she told me. That was her dream. And I'm not exactly an expert, but she did have a good voice. Really. She was just a decent person. Wanted to find her music husband. And that's something else I would do. Sasha disappeared. She was 3 months pregnant. Always the thought of her raising that child on her own. Everything that happened. She and the baby were suddenly gone. Someone killed them, Operator Tanner. Someone killed Mia and her baby. Are you still there? Oh. Anyway, thanks, Operator. Because of you, I finally have proof. Knowing Hal, well, as much as someone can know Hal, I have a feeling this won't be the last time you and me work together.
Operator Tanner, can I have a word? I see that you've been looking into the database entries for Mia and Sasha Cole. You want to tell me why? I see. In the future, I want you to avoid anything related to Sasha and Mia Cole. It's a closed case. A total waste of your time. And if by chance something else pops up concerning the Coles, and this is very important, you come to me right away. Understood? I'll talk to you later.
So who the hell am I talking to this time? The same operator Tanner from before? Good. You haven't been fired. I was afraid I'd have to explain this goddamn case all over again. I went back to where Connie said she took the photo in the desert. You remember, right? Where she said this, flying saucer supposedly landed. I didn't find a flying saucer or any aliens breathing their last wheezy breaths or anything like that. But I did find something else. You could say that. You could definitely say that. I found stones. A bunch of stones lying there on the surface of the sand. I'm no geologist, but they look funny to me. Like they'd been moved. Put there for a reason, you know? So, I call it in. Because I'm sure as hell not gonna dig myself, Tanner. Not in this suit. A team arrives an hour later, and they start digging. Sure enough, under one of the stones, they find a body. Advanced state of decomp. They dig under another stone. And lo and behold, this time they find an entire skeleton. Turns out, we're standing on some sort of desert graveyard. Yeah, messed up, right? And judging by the size of the skeleton, it belonged to someone young, Tanner. Real young. Hard to say, but I counted more than 100 stones. If they're all grave markers, well, I'll let you do the math. Look, I won't beat around the bush. The medical examiner has finished a preliminary report on the skeleton, and they found what they believe is a photo of the victim in the sand, buried there by the bones. Never seen that before. Any chance you can take a look at all this and get me an ID, Tanner? Let me send you the files. Well, it's taken a while. Hard to access the satellite out here in Roswell. Dry field. Okay. Looks like it went through. About goddamn time.
The skeleton appears to be female, estimated at 9 years of age. Starting the examination now. Initial observations show well-preserved and intact bones. No visible signs of trauma or damage. The subject is missing her left incisor. The rest of the dentition looks good. No decay or disease is present. Moving on. Here's something interesting. One of the metacarpal bones on her left hand, the metacarpal 3, has a slight curvature. You don't see that a lot. So, to summarize, the subject appears to have been a female, approximately 9 years of age, with a missing left incisor tooth and a slight curvature in the metacarpal 3 in her left hand. Based on the level of decomposition, the body appears to have been buried for approximately 6 to 8 months. Further testing and analysis is needed to determine the cause of death.
Jenkins. That name rings a bell, operator. Check the other cases for anything possibly related to him. Maybe there's a clue in there tied to the girl.
How did you find this, Tanner? Just when you think this case can't get any weirder, that's exactly what it does. But I need concrete proof it's her. Got anything else in your bag of tricks?
There must be an element that could tie the skeleton found and this Gabby Bruce. Examine the autopsy report and see if you could find anything there linking them.
condemned. 9 years old, Tanner. Breaks your goddamn heart. What the hell is going on out here? And what's a connection to Connie? Okay, the examiner has just finished processing the second body I was telling you about. The one in the advanced state of decay. Let's see here. Adult male, early 60s. Ah, they got an ID on him. Quentin Spence. Want to see if that name is on your magical list too? So there's definitely a link. I see some of the names have been crossed out. Can you figure out what that business means?
We know 3 people on this list so far. Connie Moore, Gabby Bruce, and Quentin Spence. Connie's name is circled, but the other 2 are crossed out. If I were you, operator, I would check the database to see if I can find a pattern there. Looks to be about 100 names like that. That number matches the stones. God damn. And if I was a gambling man, I'd say the circled persons are still alive. Like our Connie. There's something else about Spence, Tanner. They found him buried in a lab coat with some, you're never gonna guess, floppy disk sewn into one of the pockets. Remember what I said about this case getting weirder and weirder? Now the second disk password protected. Open that second floppy disk and give me an address tied to Spence. Something I can look into. I'm getting a little restless with you doing all the work. The operator program.
Oh, I'm sending everything your way. There you go.
The symbols and file names written on the second floppy disk look to be there for a reason, Tanner. I suggest checking those 2 files for clues about the password, focusing on the symbols. Maybe keep those 2 files open and see if you can do something with them. The key and lock icons, operator. They must be important. I suggest you combine them to reproduce the schematics on the second floppy disk. My hunch is that the content is not very important. Just the part with the icons in the 2 files mentioned, FMP 1138 and Res 2. I feel like you should physically move and overlap the windows, operator, to reproduce the schematics, aligning the brackets. Now that you've found the password by combining the two files, you should be able to open the second floppy disk, operator.
Go to your operator head, but that was actually somewhat impressive, Tanner. The address you sent, it's not far from here. I'll check it out first thing in the morning. Tonight, I think I'll help the team exhume the rest of these bodies. Screw the suit. God help us, Tanner. God help every single one of us.
Something about it. He's poking around, asking too many questions. He's going to expose us all if you don't rein him in. Yes, his shift is over. Yes. All right. Yeah, fine. We'll talk later. Bye.
Good morning, Evan. Look, about yesterday, this business with the coal files. Sorry if I came down on you a little hard, buddy. It's just that I know you have what it takes to rise in this place, Evan. Become a supervisor. Hell, maybe even replace me one day. But I can't protect you if you start poking around in the wrong places. Okay? Thanks. Guess the FDI's got me wound a little tight these days. Well, I'd better get back to it. You have a good one. All right? Again, I can't tell you how happy I am to have you here at the operator program, Evan. That way, I can keep a close eye on you, can't I? Let's grab a beer later this week, all right? Once everything calms down in the madhouse.
Operator Tanner, that you? Tanner, did you give that address out to anybody? The address for the BioM facility. The one you found on Spence's floppy. Well, somebody beat me to the facility, Tanner. The BioM facility burned down last night, Tanner. Up in flames. And if you didn't give the address out, someone else did. Looks like we got ourselves a mo goddamn operator program. Well, an investigative team came before me and logged the remaining evidence back at the department. But I can't access it directly. I'll have to go through the operator program. Heaven on earth, Tanner. Heaven on earth. From what I can tell, there should be some security footage there that should shed some light on what happened here. Hopefully, it won't be too hard to prove this was arson. Yeah, that's not a box of wine, is it? Can you get an ID on this guy? That would have been too easy, huh? I'd like to get in the facility. Take a look around. Good Lord willing, the roof won't collapse on me. But I need a code for the door. You see where I'm going with this, Tanner? Let me try it. That's not it. You should look for a way to find the correct code instead of asking me to enter random numbers like a trained monkey. Let me see if this works. All right, I'm in. Damn it! The smoke in here will ruin this suit too. That's 2 suits in 2 days. Tanner! Well, let me see if I can find something useful. Something that the investigative team left behind. Sure as hell won't be easy. Because this place is just about burnt to a crisp. I don't know what went on here. But if you ask me, it's a pretty elaborate security system for a medical facility. Not much, to be honest. You ever wonder what the baby of a hospital and a prison would look like? Because that's exactly what this place is. While I look around, maybe you could dig more into our little arsonist friend. Anything that you can find, Tanner. I look picky to you, an ID, a link to another case. His favorite flavor of ice cream. Just give me something, all right?
If I were you, operator, I would check your caseload. Maybe you've encountered this unsavory individual before.
Autopsy report of a male, approximately late 50s, early 60s. Initial observations show no sign of trauma or blunt force injury, similar to the first remains found. The decedent appears to be wearing some kind of lab coat. Starting the external examination now. Excellent dentition. The decedent is wearing some kind of badge. Let me put this to the side. Abdomen seems healthy, with no signs of trauma or injuries. The lab coat seems to contain a hidden pocket. There's something inside. It's sewn shut. I'll open this with my scalpel. There. There appear to be 2 floppy disks inside the pocket. Strange. In my estimate, the body has been buried for approximately 2 to 3 months, based on the level of decomposition. At this point, the cause of death is uncertain. Further testing and analysis is needed, including toxicology reports, before I can provide a conclusive determination.
Charming fellow. Who's the lead on the other investigation? Ouch. Tough draw for the rook. Hold on. Looks like I found something. What the? You see what I'm seeing, Tanner? Looks like our gal, Connie Moore, was a bio-impatient. Beats me. Passed her polygraph with flying colors. She told us the truth. Her truth, anyway. Contact Skinner to update Pendle on her parking garage killer. I'm sure she'll be thrilled. I'll keep looking around here. The world's biggest ashtray. Tell me if you find out anything new about our pyro head, Tanner. And I'll contact you if I come across something on my charred end over here.